Hey brother, Stuart Matola, men's relationship coach here. Today I'm going to talk to you in this video, and this is titled, When I Stopped Trying to Win My Wife Back, I Want Her Back. And so this was about a client of mine. For confidentiality reasons, I'm calling him Dave. So this client of mine separated from his wife. She initiated it. She was tired of the old patterns. And when that happened, he was doing everything he could to win her back. But once he knew there was only himself to win back, that's when he got free. And that's when she came back to him. And this is how it happened. And up front, as you watch this, if you're digging it, please like or follow me on this platform. Leave a comment below. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel to the lower right and click that little bell notification to get notified when I create these videos every week. So Dave was this high-powered lawyer, a guy who had tight control over his career. He was a trial lawyer, big stress, big money cases. And everything he was doing was all about his law practice, because he had this strategy, and it was a losing strategy in his marriage. And I see a lot of guys in this strategy that if I'm kicking ass at work and I'm bringing in all the money and making good income, everybody should be happy at home, right? No worries. Okay. But the problem was he ran his family and his marriage kind of like he ran his practice in the courtroom. Tight control. He was hard on his kids regarding school. He was tough on his wife about how the order of the house and how things were done. He was curt with his texts with his wife, kind of a get it done attitude. It wasn't even a get it done sweetie attitude. And he also kept his wife at a distance because that kept him safe in the marriage, because he could just bust ass and be at work a lot. And she spent a lot of time trying to talk to him about what it's like to be married to a dude like that. It's lonely. She didn't feel fulfilled. And eventually it just blew up on him. And she just left one day, took the kids and left. And man, was the wind sucked out of this guy's sail. You might think he would have responded with legal procedures and a whole blown up bravado and anger, but he spent weeks in a space of a script, self-talk. I'm a loser who's failing in his marriage. I'm a loser whose wife left him. And so it was about this time that we started talking, and he came to me and said, Stuart, I got to figure this out. I love my wife. I love my kids. I know I fucked up. I know I want to do things differently. And what we noticed was he was doing A, B, and C strategies, losing strategies. I'm going to tell you what they are. He flipped to the opposite side. Became a total pushover. Sweetie this, sweetie that. He didn't assert himself for any desire. He essentially became a mouse, just trying to do everything to placate his wife. Not even asserting himself to ask for time with his kids, even though he desperately missed them. And once a week, he'd try to drop in the, sweetie, will you take me back? So what do you think her response was? She was like, who is this guy, this polar opposite, this Jekyll Hyde? She was not trusting it. And it was just getting her further away from him. So what we worked on, and this is the key, this is the headline, what I call outcome independence. When he started understanding, this is something I told him, that you have no control over whether you win your wife back or not. What you do have control over is whether you win yourself back. And by that I meant he had vacated himself on both sides of the angry, controlling asshole and on the self-deprecating, negative self-talk wimp side. There was no him. There was no guy connected to himself, connected to being good to himself. He had been stuck in a pattern of self-tyranny. And where do you think that was inherited from? His father, who was a tyrant with him. Nothing was ever good enough. You know the story. B's are like F's. Had to be all A pluses. And he brought this transactional mindset into his marriage. So we worked on him understanding the difference between transactionality versus relationality. Transactionality being all about me consciousness. What am I going to get? What's going to be the benefit for me out of this? Versus relationality, which is how am I connected? How am I in this relationship? And that meant with him beginning a relationship with himself. And so over the course of months, as we worked together and I held him accountable to this idea that he was not in this game to win his wife back. He was in this game to win himself back, become a better man, and from that place, if his wife came back, that's what would happen. But he knew that that was his best shot after we spoke about it, to actually win her back. Of course, he still had that idea in his head, but how to demote that idea from being the primal driving force of everything to an aspired for side effect of the bigger work of him stepping into alignment and integrity with himself. So some of the things he actually did was he learned to, he actually started an anger management class that we looked at together. He began to work on his self-care, which meant to notice when he was starting to get freaked out or tense or anxious. He started learning how to self-regulate, and he learned to start to call out the tyrannical inner critic with him that judged the shit out of him. So that part wasn't running him, and he could look at that part and say, what the fuck do you want from me? Instead of it running him, he could run himself. And I often like to say, you tell the critic, take the hands off the steering wheel, get in row 8, he grabs the steering wheel. And often the critic just wants us to be safe, to be a better version of ourselves. So as he filtered that out and learned to be kinder, more loving to himself, well, that behavior came out with his wife. And within 6 months, she saw a guy who'd gone from asshole to wimp and then landed into caring, assertive, compassionate man. And within a month after that, they actually began going out on dates. And the key thing that I held him there was not to give her the false goddess treatment. Kind of the false goddess, you know what that's like, where like, you know, you're doing everything. You're running to open the car door. You're making sure to pull the seat out at the dining table. You're pouring her water. You know, I told him, like, be authentic. She's going to see right through that bullshit. And so instead it was just acting with authentic love towards her. And a few months down the road, they even began talk about moving in together and retaining their marriage with new ground rules. So the major objection I see that guys have about this outcome independence is, well, shit, if I can't blame her for shit and I can't try to control her, then I got to deal with me. Yeah, well, that's true, brother. I don't want to bullshit you. You got to deal with you. Wherever you are in this equation of your relationship or marriage, whether you're thinking to leave in or you've been left or you're just dealing with the same old patterns of walking on eggshells, it's about you, my man. How you can take self-responsibility and change your side of the equation. And that's the work I do with men. And at the end of the day, this client of mine made change because he was clear he wanted to become a different, more inspired version of himself. And it took him hitting rock bottom to do that. And I see that's true for many guys. So what's it look like for you to step into action, brother? Is it enough just to read books and watch videos? Or do you need to step into the room with other bold men taking action on their marriages? If so, I have the group for you. Tuesdays, 9 a.m., Men's Relationship Tools call when I run. I'll leave a link below along with other resources. Maybe you're not the group guy. If you're more of a one-on-one, you'll see other opportunities in the resources below. Please like this or follow me on this platform. Leave a comment below. And if you're watching on YouTube, again, subscribe to my channel to the lower right and click that little bell to get notified of these videos as I release them weekly. Thanks so much for watching and have a kick-ass day. Bye.